Well, welcome to RMTV. We're down here at Euston Station this morning. We're protesting about the cuts that are being imposed by London Underground, particularly the impact on safety. Joined by Pat Sikorski, Assistant General Secretary. Pat, what's the message we're sending out to passengers this morning?
Jeff, we're telling everybody here at Euston that it's cuts in jobs in stations like this, which is going to cost lives in the future. And we've had a recent example on 6th of July, just this year, one day short, of course, of the anniversary of the bombings in London in stations throughout the capital city. We had a fire in an escalator. The alarm failed to go off because it hadn't been maintained properly by Tube Lines and its subcontractor. And what we found was that it took an alert station staff members to actually evacuate the station using all the procedures which they're thoroughly trained in to actually save lives and prevent a disaster similar to the one that took place at King's Cross just down the road from here in 1997.
But we're also getting messages through about other cuts to things like the frequency of inspection on brakes. We're balloting our fleet membership. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that's a complete disaster, that one about cutting the maintenance levels, because what that's about is doubling the time between inspections from 14 days to 28 days. And what that means is, of course, that brake blocks and other safety related, well, it's the main safety thing. If you're not checking the brakes, what's the driver got if there's a failure on the train in terms of any vital train equipment? So what we're talking about is an all-round attack on station staff numbers, booking office numbers, on safety on the stations and safety on the trains, and cutbacks on train maintenance, which is a disaster for our driver members as well as being, of course, a disaster for our maintenance members, because when they cut the number of exams, they're going to cut the staff in there as well.
And it's the case, Pat, isn't it, that the smoke under the escalator here at Euston was spotted by a staff member, didn't trigger the emergency fire detection equipment. The same happened at Oxford Circus on Friday during rush hour. We understand that an air conditioning unit caught fire there, again spotted by a member of staff. Doesn't that just show London Underground how important it is that we've got those staff in post? Absolutely,
it should do. This fire at Oxford Circus was in a booking office. The fire here was under an escalator, exactly the same situation that obtained at the King's Cross fire, of course. They weren't being maintained properly, that was clear. There hasn't been any investigation involving any of our representatives. It's a cover-up job here that's taking place to try and avoid the clear implication and the clear lesson, which is unless you have the staff there, deep level tubes are not safe because they cannot be properly maintained in terms of all eventualities taking place. It needs pairs of eyes doing regular patrols, regular station checks to make sure that if there is a fire, it's spotted and people are evacuated quickly and effectively. And that's part of Section 12 legislation. Section 12 isn't just about staffing levels in and of itself, it's about how you deal with fires and emergencies. There was not a proper Section 12 situation at this station because the fire alarms weren't properly being maintained by the subcontractor and the subcontractor to the subcontractor. And what we need is directly employed staff doing the job properly in sufficient numbers, especially in the run-up to the Olympic Games, of course.
And Pat, just finally, we're 2 weeks after the coroner's report on Potters Bar. Have LU learnt nothing about the importance of maintenance and the frequencies?
What LUL management seem to be learning is that they think that they can get the equivalent pay as to executives outside of the public sector now, and they are entitled to £3 million on average a year, which is what the new figures is for the mean wage for a director of companies, and all they're interested is in the bottom line privatisation, because they've got the government backing them up and they've got a Tory mayor in London backing them up.
Pat Sikorski, thanks for your time.